Hey there! Welcome back to the Mothcast, a podcast about video games and how a couple of moths feel about them. The game for episode 34 is Duck Detective: The Secret Salami, a mystery game where you need to find the unknown lunch eater. Prepare your stuffy office chair and let's get into the podcast! Alright, so the game this week is called Duck Detective and the Secret Salami.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a nice, cute little short game.
Well, I think it's worth mentioning that we did play this briefly. Well,
Uh,
we did the demo.
yeah, the demo on the Next Fest episode. Go
The
back
Next
and
Fest
watch that
episode
if
at the
you'd
beginning
like.
of the year. And this was one of the games that we played. It was a very short demo, like I think it was like 7 minutes all told.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like literally like you get into the building and then you do the like first
Puzzle,
thing,
I
and then
suppose, the
that's
first
it.
deduction.
Deduction. And then that's it.
Yeah. And this game, honestly, it's not that much more.
No, I mean, it's a little more, but like, yeah, not that much more.
Yeah, it's like this game. It finishes out at like it's just around 2 hours, maybe a little bit before.
Yeah, around 2 hours. Mine's at 2.3 hours.
Yeah, 2.3 hours, same. But I definitely dawdled a little.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a detective's game. I mean, like basically what you're doing is you're going around and you're finding clues and you're solving a mystery.
Yep. As one would as a detective.
I mean, if you're a duck, like what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very very simple thing. Honestly, what I can see the most from this game is it being like whoever made this, because if this game goes over well, like it sells a decent amount of copies, I just want them to take the same engine, the same characters, or like at least the Duck Detective, and
just make another story.
Just keep putting out stories as just like either DLC for like $1, or I don't know, like
or just
add it on. Yeah. That would be amazing. That'd be cool. Just because these are like really short, they're pretty simple, they're not difficult, they're cute. The only, I'd say, like barrier for entry is probably the fact that the like the audio quality for the voice acting is so high. It is like way higher than any other like tiny indie game that I've seen of this style.
They definitely put a lot of like care into the audio or the voice acting.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a few of like actual characters. Yeah, there's only a few characters, there's only a few actual voice actors, but like they all did a really good job.
Yeah. Like especially your character, the Duck Detective himself.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you gotta have the deep gravelly voice as you would on a detective novel.
Yeah, because he's like a noir.
Like a noir detective. Like gruff, recently divorced.
Yeah.
You know, deep gravelly voice.
I do believe that the demo is still on the Steam store page. I'm gonna check right now.
I think so.
So if you want to know like what he sounds like, you can easily go and just like download it very quickly, and
or just like, watch the Steam page.
Yeah, it's just like the funniest thing, like super like noir. Honestly, if there's so much like vibrancy and color in the game, and I understand why they didn't, but like if they had gone with a black and white,
it wouldn't have been too bad.
It would have just been perfect. Just like black and
Yeah.
white, like noir detective from like the 20s, like gumshoe, I'm down on my luck, but I've got to make it somehow.
Actually, they didn't do actually they did do that though. Anytime you entered like a new room that you hadn't been in, they did like briefly make it black and white like that
Yeah,
for whenever
that is
he's
true.
like
I forgot about that.
making or doing his thoughts when he enters the room.
Yeah, I did forget.
So there's
I
that.
completely forgot about that.
So yeah, they kind of did what you're saying. They just didn't do it for the whole game because like
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair. But yeah, I mean, the audio in this game, like I said, super duper quality.
Yeah.
If they could just have those people who did that, just like hanging out, waiting for them to pump out a new script, you know, like,
Yeah.
like just sit next to your microphones and tell us what you need to say, and then we'll say it, and then bam, really good.
Yep.
The actual like music was just the like really jazzy like noir jazz
Noir
line, I
music.
guess. And then you said it's what did you say, it like goes from that to an excited track?
Yeah, there's like an excitement track where like um when stuff's happening or like you're doing like uh the cutscene of just stuff happening, you know?
Yeah, like an event occurring.
Yeah.
Apologies if you hear cicadas in the background. They literally just started up right as we started recording, which is
Yeah.
hilarious, but oh well. Maybe they
well.
won't show in post. Anyway, yeah, the like absolutely probably the like best thing about this game is the voice acting. Not saying like anything else is bad. It's just like it stands out so much. All the characters are so like individual and unique. The people that they got to voice each character fits so well, like that you can know basically who you're listening to just by hearing their voice,
By hearing them, yeah.
and like their personality just by the voice actors doing their job, which is really what you want.
Yeah.
You've got the high strung cat character who's like sleep deprived, drinking nothing but caffeine to keep her going so that she can keep doing her job, and she's like
Yeah.
really high strung and
Like
she
working
screams.
1,000,000 hours a day.
And you got the like huge nerdy crocodile guy who's like really annoying and
Really
lame.
into detective novels and stuff.
Yeah. And he sounds like a huge nerd the entire time, and everyone hates him because he's annoying, I guess. You've got the bear boss who sounds like big and burly, and he's like in command and blah 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 blah, and it like really shows through with that. Who else do you have?
There's the giraffe who's the receptionist.
Oh yeah, the
who's, like,
receptionist.
who
She honestly, I was trying to pinpoint it, but she has an accent.
she
Whoever
does
the
have an
voice
accent.
actress.
I couldn't figure it out either.
I want to say
She
it might have been
definitely
like
has a slight one.
it might have been like French, but then I was like, no, it can't be. So like I'm thinking it might have been like French Canadian. She might have been French Canadian,
Yeah,
or like
maybe.
some kind of Asian that I've never heard.
Yeah, I was thinking a little Asian because
And I know Asian is not a country. Listen, I'm just
Mm.
saying like it's probably a Southeast Asian country that I don't know
Something like that.
where. It's an extremely difficult accent, I promise.
Go play the game and
I know,
find out.
and yeah, exactly.
Listen
Go
to
play
it
the
for
game.
yourself.
But like,
and
I
then
also
come back.
I also feel like it's weird being like, oh, it's either French or like some kind of Asian, because like those don't sound similar at all. But like,
No,
it's what it
but
made
it's
me think of.
because it's only a slight accent that you can hear only when
Like-
she says like certain words.
Yeah, like every once in a while. It's
So
weird.
It's hard to pin down.
It's strange. It's weird. I don't mind it. It's nice. It's a nice accent, but she only talks a few times. So,
Then you got the like sheep,
yeah, the like
lady,
older lady sheep.
older sheep, motherly sheep lady.
She also had some kind of an accent, or maybe she was just like playing up the like uh old Hollywood type speaking.
Maybe.
But she didn't.
I think she did probably have an accent, but then there's the penguin,
Yeah,
the
the penguin who
janitor.
just sounded like he was like from Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's just yeah, because like I mean he's a janitor, so
Yeah, he's like,
gotta make
I'm
him
just doing it. I'm trying to write a book here.
just try to do my job,
I'm
fixing this
mopping
damn
here.
dishwasher.
Hey,
Trying to
I'm
fix this
mopping
damn
here.
dishwasher that these kids broke.
Can't you guys clean up your microwave? Anyway, and then I think the last character is I think he's a bison.
I think so, a bison or like buffalo or
Oh,
something.
buffalo. I think buffalo.
Boris,
Yeah,
and I'm
he's
clearly Russian.
yeah, he's definitely Russian or Ukrainian or something in the like
Something
North
around there,
Asia,
yeah.
like what would it be, like or not Germany, East European
Yeah,
direction.
yeah,
Inspired. Yeah, and like you can tell each one of these characters has like really nice, unique personalities, and
yep.
yeah, really well written, I would say, for all of these characters. I really like the fact that they kept the cast relatively small.
So you
Even though
can
that's
kind of keep track of
also
them.
my complaint about the game. I do wish the game was like 4 hours longer with like
Well,
3
yeah,
stories instead of 1 or something like that.
yeah, agreed. But like, for each specific, if it had multiple for each specific story, there would be a small cast because like if you got too many people, then it makes the detectiving really hard.
Yeah, I
You know,
agree.
because then you gotta like sift through all the characters and you
Yeah,
know,
you're
et
not
cetera, et
wrong.
cetera.
Um, but
But I do agree that it should have more stories.
I really really hope that one day we get like a couple additions to this, or like
Yeah,
free or very cheap DLCs.
something like that.
It's a $10 game, so like $10 for 2 hours of gameplay. Um,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
don't know. Like, I feel like there would be a few people that probably would say that that's not really good value.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't know.
probably not. But like
I
a
would
few
say that the
people,
polish is quite high on
yeah,
this game. So,
it's definitely like a well-made game.
I didn't mind spending the $10 on it personally.
Me neither. I think I got it on like a 20% off or something.
I think I also
I don't
got it on
remember.
sale. Either way,
It wasn't a very big sale, but it was a little
it
extra money
existed.
off. But anyway,
the
the art is
Oh yeah,
very good.
it's like it's
It's
definitely
a
cartoonish, but like
yeah, but it's a mix of like 2D. All the characters are in 2D. They're like kind of like
I was gonna say, like they remind me of Paper Mario.
yeah, they're Paper Mario or like little plastic standees that you would get
Yeah,
like for like a board game or something, and then they're in like a 3D environment, 3D-ish.
yeah, which is really interesting. But like I definitely would say this is like right up the alley of Paper Mario Thousand Year Door.
Hmm. Or just
Um,
Paper Mario.
well, I mean, not the Origami King, because that's what we've been playing recently. Um, because
Yeah,
like the entire environment is made out of like paper mache and like folded
yeah,
paper,
yeah,
and like this is definitely not that. This is like a real 3D environment, I guess.
yeah,
um so it's like definitely much more along the lines of like you're supposed to believe that this is like a comic, but you're a like 3D
hmm
or a 2D cutout.
yeah, yeah. That's what it is. Like a 2D cutout in like if you were to play this on a tabletop game.
Oh, I just realized I'm so stupid. Literally, like imagine this is like a cartoon, or not a cartoon, but like a comic book, right?
Yeah,
Where they have drawn the area, and then they take the cutout with the little white edges of the character and they put them on little like popsicle sticks, and they've like
Oh,
they kind of like
yeah,
bounce
yeah,
them
yeah.
around the way that you
Uh-huh.
move around in the
Yeah,
game.
like a kind of like a puppet show.
Yeah,
Like a
because like
yeah,
whenever you
that's
walk, your legs don't move.
no,
You
there's no
just kind
like
of wiggle around.
animations really.
Yeah. There is some movements, but they're very few.
Kinda.
But like if
It's
you
more
look
of
at
like a
the
it's more of a change in animation
yeah, if you look at
than
the
like full animations.
what is it called? The trailer. There are various scenes of like an actual cartoon duck. You know what I
Oh, yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And
Yep.
there's a few scenes in the game of, basically the
Like
same.
actual
Yeah,
cinematics.
cinematics. Um so yeah, I think that's just what they're going for. It's really good. Like
Yeah, it
it
is.
transitions
It's
really well
excellent.
back and forth between each other. Um the other thing I think it's worth mentioning is there's a function that you like take your little magnifying glass and you zoom in to
Mhm.
characters, and
Yeah, that's really good.
like whenever you're zooming into them, it like increases the realism by like 100%.
Yeah, it's really good.
And
Uh,
so like at the very end, the very last person that you can examine is yourself in the mirror, and like
yeah,
whenever
and, like
you like examine yourself in the mirror, like you become like a hyper realistic duck.
yeah, it's like a duck, you got the scratchy beard, you got like, baggy eyes,
The bags under your eyes, the black
the
circles,
worn out hat and worn out clothes, etc.
the toast,
Just shabbiness.
yeah, the bits of toast
Oh,
on your jacket, on your trench
yeah.
coat. Yeah, it's really funny. There's definitely like a fantastic sense of humor as well in just like
Mhm.
the character designs and the like environment. There's just like trash everywhere. There is a achievement that I didn't get because I didn't know it existed,
No,
called kick over all the bins,
I
rage
I
uncaged.
I figured there would be while I was playing, but
But did
I
you
actually
get it?
I didn't before when I was playing, and I actually literally just, like, you saw me boot the game up a few
Yeah, I was
minutes
gonna
ago.
say
I got it just then,
you're like,
so
I'm gonna go knock everything over.
'cause,
Yeah,
like but, like, I wondered while I was playing, I'm like, "I wonder if there's a achievement for kicking over all the trash cans," and then I
and
didn't
there
do it,
definitely is.
and then there is, and, I missed the trash can in the, boss's office,
I think that's the only one I have because I've been
and
through the
in
entire
the
area.
other one in the kitchen, I think, but
I've knocked over so much. There's
Cause
like
like, cause like it doesn't. You don't really like. Sometimes you don't even mean to. It just like you're walking past and you don't even hit. You don't even touch the object, and it just knocks it
yeah,
off.
because the
Like,
physics are
oh, okay.
crazy. All of a
It's like,
sudden
oh, okay, all right,
you like
whatever.
bump it and the trash can flies across the room and the paper inside of it is like knocked over everywhere and you're like, what? I didn't do
I
anything.
didn't even want to do that. I mean, I
I
kind of did, but
I'm just walking and like I barely touched it. Like damn. Okay.
yeah,
Um
it's goofy.
we've had a couple of a few strings of interesting physics in games.
It's true.
Just last week, I think
Yeah,
Industria's physics were
industrious physics were
they
very
were doing whatever they
interesting.
wanted.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so as we've noted, the gameplay in this game is extremely simple, and I don't think we're going to talk about it for very long.
yeah.
You walk around and you interview people,
You just
and you talk to
you
them, and
yeah.
you look at stuff,
You
and
talk to them, you gather words, put the words in your notebook in your deductions.
yeah,
Um, you just look for stuff basically as a
right.
detective would.
And
So
essentially, what he's saying is correct. Is you get the words like from they're like keywords, right?
yeah,
And once you have the appropriate number of keywords, you can go into your little booklet and you can solve a phrase that's like fill in the blanks, basically.
yeah, you can solve
Um,
the deduction.
and then the game will tell you like, oh, you have around this number wrong. Like,
Yeah.
so usually it's like 2 or less.
2 or less, or 3 or more are wrong,
So it doesn't give you like the
etc.
exact number, but you can sort of intuit what's wrong by like paying attention.
Yeah, pretty much.
Though
And then
I
there's
will say there were a few times where like the phrasing was strange.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it right away, and I'm like, listen, I know what happened. I know what I have is correct, or like virtually correct. I'm just phrasing this so wrong with the things that have been given to me.
With the words you've given, yeah.
Yeah. And
Then
so
there
it's
are
very
a few
strange.
times where it's like it doesn't seem like you got all the information to solve that, but it's just like just use your brain.
Yeah. I think the funniest part about it is that whenever you punch in the correct thing and it's like, yeah, that's correct, he's coming to the conclusion because of your action, essentially.
Yeah,
He's like,
pretty
oh my
much.
gosh, that happened? What? And it really, like, it definitely is silly, and it doesn't quite break immersion because like the game doesn't really care about the fourth wall.
No.
But at the same time, it's like very much intact. It's kind of a strange contradiction.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's okay. I mean, it works.
yeah, it works. Well, because it's treating you as if you're like along for the ride. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're in the puppet show as well.
Mhm. It's good. I
Um,
like it.
but yeah, I mean, it's very simple. Like there are essentially, I'd say 3 different like gameplay aspects. There's like the fill in the blanks that come with the words, and the way you get the words is you have to examine objects like computers or notes or people.
People, yeah.
And then sometimes you get it from interviews, which is the third piece of the puzzle where you have to like go up and talk to
Yeah,
them
where
regular.
you have, like, pieces of evidence, and then you, like, ask them about
Yeah,
it.
or like other people in the office you can
Mm.
like specifically bring up with specific people about them. And then yeah, like that's the 3 pieces that come together to like form the what could be described as the gameplay loop, I suppose. It's
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to say it cuz like it's very enjoyable, but it's like barely even gameplay. Cuz like of course you're controlling a character and of course you're solving puzzles, but like sometimes it doesn't feel quite right, like quite like a game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just me.
I don't know. It felt fine to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I like there were definitely times where I felt like I was just like going through steps.
Yeah.
Um but like all in all, I wouldn't say that the game was like not enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I don't want to take points off because of it.
Mm-mm.
It was it's an extremely casual game that is a lot of fun just because it's an experience. Like I'll probably play this game again with my wife because she'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yep.
it's that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's just like trying to compare it to other games where like you have to actually find the object and decide that that's the object that is a like evidence.
Part of the evidence, yeah.
Yeah, and then like instead of being given a list of like 12 words that you need to use, half of which make absolutely no sense, and then
Yeah.
like the other half are actual words, and you just like fill in the blank until it says that you've got it right. Like you know, it's like we're getting real close to like not actually gameplay. It's just
I
like
mean,
yeah.
if you're gonna say that about it, go see previous episode Orwell.
Yeah,
Some
I
of the
mean, you're
words are right, some of the words are not right.
yeah, I mean, but I agreed with that. Like, I agreed with you when you said that in that
Yeah,
episode. Like, it was
yeah.
almost not gameplay. Like, I remember one of my criticisms, um, in that game was I wish
Was
it
the
had
like
more options
you
or
would have to
more.
go find your own words to find out what would be important or not.
Well, I didn't really mind that. It was more of like go find or give me more diverging branches.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, give me more meaningful choices because like there weren't any in that game, and like that's what it felt like it should have been. Was like there should have
Yeah.
been more choices that the person could have made,
Yeah,
but
but in this it's a detective.
in
There's
this
kinda
it's a
really only one
detective game.
answer.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So,
So,
but like
that's fine. That's how it should be.
yeah, but like that's what I was gonna say is like I don't. This was definitely made so that you could be of any skill level or anything, and you'll be able to play it and have a good time.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that about this game. Like, not every game has to be like a competitive, very difficult game. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Agreed.
um, but yeah, I feel like I don't even necessarily want to talk about the story too much. But we will.
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, warning,
so
spoilers.
yeah, super warning
If
right
you want
now.
to play this,
This
don't watch
game,
this.
this game is super short. We're gonna talk about like a good majority of what happens. We're gonna talk about the ending. We're going to talk about all of it. Okay. So this is your chance to back out to go play it and then come back. Yeah. All
Okay.
right. So you are a obviously in the beginning we said you're a down in your luck duck detective who got kicked off the force, and you're
Yeah,
now a
actually, I think he was like a police officer or
yeah,
something.
yeah, because he has a badge still, and he's like maybe I'll sell it on eBay. Um, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and so he's a PI now, so private investigator. He has been called to find who has been stealing the lunches, or I guess this one particular person's lunch in a office. And the office is a I think it's the people who run the buses in like the
Yeah,
city that he lives in.
like the office, the bus company's office, main office.
Right. And so
Options.
right. And so like basically you're but the problem is like once he gets there because he was so excited to have a job, he forgot to take down who
Yeah,
who
you forgot to ask who his client
yeah,
is.
his client was, who even hired him. So like he's looking at all the people and he's like, I've got to use my deduction
I
skills to
gotta
figure out
find
who
out.
hired me. It's like, okay.
So yeah, like that's the first step in the game.
Very
Meet all the
silly.
people, find out who your client is,
Um
and it goes from there.
yeah, it does. Well, let's see what else happens. You know, you meet all the characters, and you know the boss is like, I don't want you here. You're gonna mess with all my people's jobs, and they're all should be working, and instead they're gonna be talking to you. And you're like, oh, okay, that's weird, but whatever. And so you find out that there's this salami bandit who's been stealing lunches, I guess, and leaving salami behind,
Yeah,
which is like very silly.
it is very like
um
okay.
and as you're going along, you know, you're taking notes and you're deducing things, you know, oh no, everyone forgot uh
Receptionist's
the
birthday.
receptionist's birthday. And it's like, do they hate her? No, they don't. They're actually all good friends with her. In fact,
Turns
they're
out,
actually throwing her a surprise birthday party.
yeah.
And so like that happens while you're there.
One of her gifts get replaced by
By
salami.
salami, she's horrified. There's a threatening note in the salami gift. Um, and like at first they're like, oh no, whatever the gift was was stolen, but then you like deduce that it wasn't stolen.
It
It was
wasn't stolen. It
actually
was just
that was the intended gift, and
yeah.
then the receptionist like sort of disappears,
hmm
and like you might think this is going really fast, but like I promise, it's a short
This
game.
is how it happens, like pretty much.
uh, and so then you find out that there's like a conspiracy going on
Yeah.
with I guess it was the penguin and the sheep, who is like one of the customer service people. The sheep is a customer service person,
To
and
like call people.
and then the janitor. Um, the sheep is giving real like vouchers to like voucher tokens to the janitor, and the janitor is like selling them for a
Selling them.
discount on eBay, basically.
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
and then like for some reason the janitor is trying to blackmail the boss,
Boss, because he knows about the
other
even bigger,
illicit things that are going on,
the even bigger conspiracy of
the salami.
the illegal salami smuggling.
Yeah, which is really funny, but whatever.
It is very funny because it's like there's a you can't have this, like you can't have meat in the West.
Yeah,
or whatever
you can't have Western foods in the East, and so they have to
like,
smuggle it
smuggle
through
it
the bus
in.
system, and then the boss is smuggling this like Western salami so that he can sell it to people
it
at a
for
huge profit, and so that he can like save him and his family, because
Yeah,
they were
because
losing profits, and
their budget cuts.
it's this whole conspiracy because he needed a driver, so he got the receptionist to rope in a driver because one of the drivers is obsessed with her, and so it's like those three that are doing this whole smuggling ring. And then the reason why they got found out is because the annoying crocodile accidentally grabbed the wrong bag whenever he was coming to work on a bus, because the bag looked exactly like his bag, and it had salami in it. Oh no!
So they had to like frame the crocodile to like get rid of him.
So because he had the salami, the boss was framing him by eating the lunch of the cat who called you. You find out that she's actually your client. And so she calls you, and then she's like, it's obviously him, but he's being framed by the boss, who's just trying to create a fall guy so that he can confiscate the salami and like close the circle.
Yeah.
And so without implicating himself, even though in the evidence he's been leaving like tons of handwritten notes with his handwriting.
Yeah, it's his handwriting the whole time. I actually didn't pick that up until like the end-ish, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, I think you're supposed to pick it up towards the end.
Yeah, because like when you get into the safe, that's kind of when you're supposed to do it, but I didn't pick it up till like a little bit after that.
Oh, really?
Like,
okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that immediately whenever I saw like his note to his wife.
Because like
I was like,
oh, he does a little
okay.
squiggle whenever he signs the name.
Well, not only that, it's the same ink.
It's the same ink
color.
So it's the same little like sign off. It was all the same.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, duh.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But yeah, so it's him, and then at the very end of the game, as you're doing your like Hercule Poirot like explanation of how everything went down, and then you're accusing the people, you're doing your grand speech as you would in like detective novels. You're like, it gives you the option of
who to arrest.
Yeah, who do you want to arrest? Like, who are you going to tell the police is involved? Are you going to tell them that the boss is involved? Are you going to tell them that the receptionist is involved? Are you going to tell them that the bus driver is involved? And you can do yes or no to any of these three, I guess. And they get
Yeah.
arrested when you say yes or no. So I'm gonna let you go first. Who did
Uh,
you implicate? Who did you
I
send to jail?
I arrested obviously the boss
The
because
boss,
it's
because
him,
he did
but
the thing.
that's the only person I arrested.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Before I tell you why, what was your reasoning?
Um, the reason is uh Boris, the driver, he was just like he was being manipulated by the receptionist, um, because he was just a dumbass and he was in love.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I didn't implicate the receptionist because um she tried to get out basically and
But she
tried to call the
only,
police
tried to get out because there was a
because
detective in the
yeah, I
house
was gonna say because
that
shit
was
hit the
on the
fan.
trail. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
also
I
because
felt like she tried to do the right thing at the end. So I don't know.
okay. So I threw them all in jail. All three of them.
Okay, fair.
uh so I said put them all in jail. I kind of regret uh putting the bus driver in jail. Um but like arresting him. But
Hmm.
like I guess the way that I see it is if this were a real like law abiding place, they would probably
They would
arrest
probably
all three, but
all of them anyway.
only the first two would get convictions.
Yeah,
The because
for
like
association or something.
uh well, he would probably get let go, and
Yeah, like
then
accomplices.
she would probably
Sure.
get like something small, but the boss would
The
definitely get
boss
jail
would
time,
definitely get yeah.
some kind of jail time. And the reason for that is that like it would be so easy for the police to get the two lesser people to flip, and then they would do less time for it, basically. And
Yeah,
like you could technically argue that the bus driver didn't even know what he was
what he was
doing.
doing.
He
Yeah,
was
he was
basically
just,
just being completely used, and that's what they would argue, and he would probably get off
which
like
is why I didn't arrest him.
nearly completely, which makes sense. I would go back and I would change that if I could, but I don't regret my decision. I think that she
Yeah,
was fully an accomplice. She knew what she was doing, and like she knew what she was doing so much that she roped an entire third person in to
yeah,
do the thing and lied
that's
to him
fair.
on top of it. So like she was fully within knowledge of being an accomplice in order to get the bad thing done.
Hmm.
Now, we could very easily talk about like, oh, um, should we have even said anything at all? You know, because you could be like, oh, but like just because he's breaking the rules doesn't mean he wasn't doing it for a good cause. He was he was trying to do it for his family, and he was just
Yeah,
trying to make it so that his wife, who had just recently stopped working and had just given birth to twins, would she wouldn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
to go
Um,
wanting because his workplace that he manages is going under because all of his workers are subpar. Like you could surely
yeah.
argue that.
I do wonder that because there was a neat little statistic at the end after you do the accusations. Um, and the boss's arrest rate was 98%.
Yeah.
So it was like there has to have been some people who played this game who didn't arrest the boss.
Well, of course. Well, I
So
like at the very least there are probably people who start the game over, play it through just so that they can arrest nobody.
yeah, I guess that's
So
true.
like that's probably where the 98% number comes from.
Most
Honestly, I'm
likely.
surprised it's not lower.
Yeah.
Um because I know for a fact that there is definitely a group of people who would be like, well, he doesn't deserve to be put out because he was just doing whatever he had to do, basically, even if it required crime.
Hmm.
Um and it's not really my place to say whatever, like, whether those people are right or wrong. I personally tend to be like a law abiding citizen as much as I can.
Yeah.
uh I'm not necessarily a snitch in real life, but like it depends on how much it affects me, like
Yeah.
yeah, but that's
Like if it was your job to find the people like a detective, then
yeah,
yeah.
it might be a little bit of a different story.
If
But
you did this, you know the consequences when you started.
like
Sorry.
if I'm just like
Sorry, not
working in a
sorry.
job and there's somebody like doing something bad and it like doesn't really affect me, and like I'm not in it, I just see it, like is it my job to report it? I don't know. Is it my job to
Depends.
see it? I don't know. Maybe I
Um,
didn't see anything. Maybe it doesn't matter. But like if I'm like a manager who manages
kind of like
people,
a
what?
mind your own business kind of thing.
Yeah. But like if I'm like a manager in a position like managing a store and it's my job to like keep track of these sorts of things, yeah, then I might have to say something cuz it's my ass sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um I know that that's like a really flexible set of morals and ethics, but you know, times are rough out here for everybody.
It is what it is. The old saying,
Yeah, basically.
classic.
Um, yeah, so I put all three of them away. The thing that I thought was the most interesting, honestly, was that there were more people that arrested Boris, the bus driver, than
Yeah,
there were people who
arrested the receptionist.
arrested the receptionist. When
Yeah,
like
I noticed that too.
objectively, she was the like second most like criminal, basically.
Yeah.
She was definitely in it. There's even like some lines where he was like, I didn't know. I thought that you said that this salami was for your aunt, that she loves it or that she needs it because she's sick or whatever. And she's like,
Mhm.
if you thought that, then you're stupider than than I thought you were. And it's like, oh yeah, like she definitely knows,
Yeah.
you know. So, but yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Mhm.
Um, all in all, a pretty solid ending. I didn't realize that it was going to
Good.
be like, hey, yep, you get to choose who gets arrested.
Yeah, I didn't realize either. When it first asked me, like, who do you want to arrest? I'm like, I get that option.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, clearly it's the boss. We just established it. And you're gonna, like, have me choose to arrest him or not? Kind of weird, but yeah, arrest him.
yeah, basically. But yeah, so that is
It's it's the end. I mean, it pretty much
that's
just goes to, like, a ending cinematic and then credits.
yep. I guess it's worth noting at the very very end that you don't intentionally make friends with the crocodile, but he does give you a ride home because uh, the
You
cat
forgot
didn't
to
pay
get your
you.
money. Yeah, you forgot to get your money from the cat,
um,
your client. So you when you got here, you had a little less than bus fare. You used like most of your money to get to the office, and you're like, well, I don't know how I'm gonna make it home if I don't get this job done. So I have less than the bus fare,
yeah.
and then you're like, well, guess I'm walking home, and then the crocodile offers you a ride.
Yep, and you take it and you go home and you grumble about it, but it's fine.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, and that's the end. So very cute story.
yeah, very very
Give us
nice
more,
looking.
please.
Agreed. Please give us more.
Other than that, I don't really think there's much else to talk about.
Nope, that's
Um,
pretty much it. We talked about everything.
yeah, would recommend. I would say I'm gonna give it like I feel like an 8.5,
Yeah, I think
8.59
that's a good score.
in that direction.
8.5,
Yeah. Um,
pretty high up
and
there.
then like hopefully I can increase that score as more things come
If
out.
if more
I
comes
mean, it
out, yeah.
just came out, so like it's whatever. But like
Yeah, there's if they do more. Hopefully they do
if
more.
they do, that would be nice. I would love that. 10 of 10 would play this again
Yeah.
if they made more. So Okay. If there's nothing else, what
Nope.
game is our next game, Tim?
Our next game is called Gigabash, and I
Gigabash.
think it's some kind of like kaiju fighting,
Yeah, I think it's exactly what it is.
like
It's
like
a
large
kaiju
monsters
fighting game.
fighting each other in a city.
Let me
I think there was a story or something.
as far as I know, there is a story. If there isn't, we're just gonna have to like do our
We're gonna
best to
play it and
figure it out.
just do
From
it
what I
anyway.
looked at, it said there was
Not
a
like we haven't
story.
done a game with no story before, so
Yeah, that's
oh
true.
well, whatever.
Yeah,
We'll
it
play it
says
and
it's Gigabash is a multiplayer arena brawler with gigantic film-inspired kaiju, larger-than-life heroes, earth-shattering special attacks, and fully destructible environments. So what I'm thinking is, yeah, there is a single-player tag on here.
yeah,
But what I'm thinking this is it's gonna be like arena of like Ultraman style fighting. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's like big robot versus big lizard, and you
yeah,
just punch each other.
yeah.
Um,
Like Pacific Rim or yeah, Ultraman.
well, Ultraman, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
basically, yeah. So
that's the next game.
that's the next game.
It'll be pretty good, I think.
So I
If you
think
like
it'll be all right.
monsters punching each other.
I
So
like kaiju sometimes.
yeah.
That's not my favorite genre, but this looks good. So, all right. Well,
Yeah.
that's everything. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see
So
you
much.
next week. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye bye.